Hey authors, Sarah here. It's been a long time since I have done a live Canvas stream, but I thought today would be the perfect time to kind of jump in and go through my process for making a bookmark. We have got award season coming up, conference season coming up, so there's going to be a lot of in-person events that authors are going to have the opportunity to participate in, and having a bookmark ready to go is one of the best things that you can do promo-wise. So today I am going to be working in Canva. I'm actually going to be designing a bookmark for a client through my Books to Bundles service, and going about making the bookmark both visually appealing, but also packing a punch with all of the information that you can get on, and have that added into your design. So without further ado, we're going to hop into my favorite program in the world, the wonderful Canva, and we are going to dive in and get that bookmark configured. Now, when you are designing a bookmark, the very first thing that you want to make sure that you are doing is verifying the dimensions for your canvas that you need, because there are very many different types of printing services out there that have all different types of bookmark designs available. So you want to make sure that you are confirming with your printer of choice what type, what the bleed, the document sizes that you need to use to upload into their system. This is going to be found under the specifications, product specifications, or it could be called product requirements when you're uploading the design into your preferred platform. Now, if you do not have a preferred platform, there are through Canva itself, Canva does offer the printing ability in their own platform, which is really, I haven't used it personally, but I have had author friends who have used Canva's printing services and been very happy with it. So you can use their bookmark printing capabilities. This is something where you would create the design in Canva, then you would order the bookmark through Canva, and all the shipping happens within the platform itself. Another company that I always recommend and I use for myself personally is Vistaprint. And the reason why I love Vistaprint so much is because I love the size of their bookmarks. They're a little, and I can actually show you a copy right here. Hopefully, here we go. It's much thicker, I think, than most bookmarks are. So you can pack like a lot more information, like on the back. I have all my graphics and designs and whatnot. So I always, if people are looking for recommendations, I always go with Vistaprint. They are a little bit pricier, but the quality is like amazing. So, and for my client today, we are using Vistaprint as well. So we'll be referring to that as we go through the design process. So let me go ahead and get my my bookmark size. And what I'm going to do, because I'm all about reusing things when I can, and having templates and building things from there. I'm going to go to my bookmark that I made for myself for last year's Malice convention. Here we go. Because I know that this is designed and fit for Vistaprint's specifications. I'm just going to go up in the file section and make a copy of it so that my canvas is all ready to go. If I was going to start a new design from scratch, I would come up here. I would go to custom size. I would want to make sure that it was put into inches because that is especially for Vistaprint, that's what their requirements are listed as. And I think they are like 2 point something, and then 6.13, I think, are the sizes. So that's where you would put it in. You'd hit create a new design and you'd be on your way. But we're not going to do that. We're going to save some time up here, and I'm going to go with naming my file. And because I don't need all of these extra pages, I'm just going to go ahead and delete them all because I just need that one for as my building point. So now that I have my canvas all situated for my design, I am going to make sure that I have all of my items. Let me see here. Let me pull up. I just have to download the information on my end. Sometimes I will have, for my own services that I offer through my Books to Bundles offerings, I will have clients either provide me with the information that they want displayed, or they're not sure what they should have, and I will take care of putting that information. I always like getting a sense of what folks want on their bookmark, because it's a nice way to have that direction go. So I'm just going to go ahead and add in the cover that I'm going to be using, as well as make sure that I have my print stuff up that is going to be used for the design itself. And this is going to be a fun one because I love how this cover looks. And it's going to look so good against the bookmark, because we are working with this like really like nice contrast of color. There'll be a lot of fun that we can play with this. I'm going to start things off by actually dragging the cover to the edges of the bookmark. But one thing that you do have to be careful of as you are working through any items that you're dealing with print is you need to make sure that you are leaving room for bleed or the safety lines of the printer service. And as I have been designing, I've kind of learned the boundaries myself, but if this is something that you're new to, it's your first time, you can come into the file menu up in Canva, go to view settings, and then you can show print bleed. And this is going to like buff out your design by a significant amount, because you'll notice that it's like, okay, my image is no longer touching the edges, but you do not want to be designing outside of this very faint dotted line. So this line here, like that's like your cutoff for where you want to be. So just be very careful when you are doing print designs that you're not having things go to the very edges, because it's very likely that they're going to get cut off. That happened to me the very first business card I designed for myself back in the day. Half of my business card was unreadable because it was cut off from the safety line. So that's just something to consider as you are going through the process. So for the design itself, a couple new things that I've learned in Canva that I didn't even know existed before, which I'm absolutely loving, is this align to page item, where you can make sure that you're perfectly aligned to your to the canvas that you're working for. So if I was to click middle, it would perfectly align my design. And if I like came over here and was like, oops, like that doesn't work, I can go in align to page and I can put it right in the center. So I'm really loving that feature, because I'm all about having things like right where they should be. So to get things started, because I'm loving this color contrast, I'm actually going to adjust the background of my bookmark to fit into my into the design itself. So now that we have this this whole the same color throughout, and we can kind of play around with how things are looking in regards to the bookmark. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go into edit photo, and I'm going to go down to my effects section and use the shadow feature, because you guys know that I absolutely love shadows, because they help give a little bit of pop and dimension to any design that you're doing. And the same goes for a print design. I'm going to adjust my blur a little bit here and drag this out a bit more, still being mindful that I want to stay within those lines. I'm going to come here, align to page. So now that we have our cover really popping out against our background, I'm going to take another note from the cover itself and see these little paw prints that are listed here. I'm going to go into my elements stage and go to cat paw prints. And I can pick something that is very similar, I think, to how these paw prints are configured. I think I'm going to go with this one for now. And I'm going to start, I'm actually Going to start it off the page. Nope, I'm going to select this one. I like this one. It's got more movement, I think. I'm going to curve it, bring it down. And then I'm going to position it to the back so that the paw prints kind of disappear underneath the cover design. And then let's see here, going to control copy and have the paw prints also come up the back and around. So it looks like our cat is walking all the way up and off the page. And it might actually go to drag it down just a little bit more so we can see some of those paw prints. There we go. But then you'll notice that we have the paw prints down here kind of overlapping with one another. So I can come in, I can go to crop, and I can come up and I can crop this item so that they're not interfering with one another. So now we have that little connection. And it looks like the cat is walking off the page. This is going, and then I think I'm going to put a little bit of text down here just to kind of fill out the bottom. And we're going to confirm with my information that we have here. This is making sure that the mystery title is correct. Let's go here. Oh, actually, I might, instead of typing it myself, I might actually just use so a couple things that I could do. I want to use how the series title is configured on the bookmark page. So like I want to put it like right here, but you'll notice because I have this square that I have kind of like some overlapping things that are going on. So I'm going to show you a new filter or a new capability that Canva recently introduced that I'm absolutely loving when it comes to especially photo design for dealing with book covers. If I go into edit photo and I click this grab text functionality, it's going to grab the text off of my image and align it with a here we go. It actually grabbed all of the text from it. And so you'll see that my text is now like its own thing. I don't have to worry about like the color background being there. It's just been kind of lifted off of the image, which I find I absolutely love. I think it's so cool. So I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller, bring it down here and align it with those cute little paw prints. I'm going to go back to my positioning because of course there's some, but I'm actually going to keep this in mind because what I want to do is on my next page, I want to be using some of these elements that are from the cover itself. So if I come back here, I think they may have disappeared because they were offset. So that's fine. So I'll show you guys actually how to do it again. So if I come back, I take the whole cover. Again, I go to that grab text feature. And you'll see how everything gets pulled off of the page. And so I'm going to be using this text to design the back of the bookmark. So it's still in line and in brand with all of the items that we have going on here. So we have, I am a big proponent of having your picture on a on your bookmark, I think it adds such like a nice little, touch of like a personal touch to the mix. It humanizes you. It makes you seem accessible to your readers, and your readers can connect with you and so forth. So I'm a really big proponent of having your picture on. And so what I'm going to do is see if I have any like paw print picture frames. So like, because I think it would be really cool to have that incorporated some way, but I might actually just end up having a big paw print down here. But let's take a look. Paw print frame. Oh, I kind of like this one. That's like the very small paw prints. All right, so bear with me while we make some magic happen. So I've got my banner that we have going on here. And then I'm going to, let's see, where are they? Frames. I'm just gonna take a regular circle frame. And let me grab Linda's headshot. And get it added into my folder here. You know, I like to keep my folders, you know, separated with where I'm going, what I'm working on, all of that good stuff. So I'm going to add in Linda's picture. I'm going to bring this in front. Oh, I love it. And now we have like this really like personalized picture that goes really nicely, not only with her series, but with how the front of the bookmark looks, because we have those same paw prints kind of trailing us throughout. So let me just bring down some of these text boxes so we can continue working. I'm going to group these together because I think they're actually pretty well positioned. Again, let's make sure we're in the center of the page. I am relatively close to that bleed, and remember that bleed, we cannot be over it. So I'm actually going to bring Linda's photo down so that we have a little bit of a wiggle room. I'm going to then, let's see, we're going to make this black. We're going to make her name, we're going to make the line spacing a little less severe. And I think I would like to have it be double. One thing with making a bookmark is you have to be very conscious of the space that you're using, and you don't want there to be too much going on, but you want there to be enough. And so I'm going to go ahead and make Linda's name a little bit more apparent, because that's who we're here celebrating. I'm going to go into my effects. I'm going to use the outline effect. Because this does not have a bold option, that particular text, I'm going to make her name bold by using this outline thickness. You know, if I could make it this bold, that's unreadable. I could drag it down, and so we're like a little bit darker, and it's a little bit more apparent. So we have our information listed there. Okay, and then we're gonna do at the bottom, I'm still keeping this little paw print. I like the idea of the paw print. The bottom, we're gonna put in her website. Let's just put in definitely gonna get a better font that is more on brand and more legible. You want your website to be as clear as possible on a bookmark. This is when like fancy fonts are not going to do you any favors, just because due to the fact that like you need it to be crisp, clear, and very, very legible. Because we're dealing with a lot of sans serif fonts, we're going to make sure that we're still in that wheelhouse. Let's go look at the modern items. This looks really nice. I almost want it to be a little bit more, nope, not that. A little bit more condensed. That's pretty good. It's not like horribly off brand for what we have going on, but it's still clear and concise. So we have the website ready to go. I'm going to bring my little paw print down. I think that's a nice way to indicate to it. We're going to go here with a nice little kind of tagline to introduce the series, which sounds extremely intriguing from a mystery standpoint. Let's see here. I definitely, let me look. I'm not 100% sold on this particular font for the text area. So let's see what we have that we have to work with. I definitely like something that's a little bit more, condensed. And it would help if my letter spacing was accurate. And we can think of stacking the lines. So when you are, putting together your tagline, think about which sentences you want to grab people's attention. So we have this Ramona is dead. Like that's a pretty intense, ready to go sentence. So we definitely want that to kind of stand on its own. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little playing with the sizes of each of these lines. So I'm going to make the Ramona is dead a little bit larger. I'm going to make these italicized, and I'm going to make this one larger as well. I think we need some commas in there. For some reason, this gives me just total Nancy Drew vibes. I'm really liking it and making sure that all of my spacing is correct. Awesome. And I'm actually going to bring the line spacing down just a little bit so they're a little bit more condensed together. Awesome. And then again, I think, let's see how it looks making Ramona is dead bold. Nope, I don't like it. Awesome. All right, so we've got our tagline that's been added. And then we can add in our, testimonial, a quote that you have from, another author, a reader, a blogger, somebody, what have you. I love adding testimonials. I just think making sure that you're adding the best part of it is the most critical point of selecting a quote. I know that there are some you're reading a quote and it's building and then it's really amazing by the end. You don't want to give people time to stop reading during those moments. So making sure that you're starting with that most amazing thing right off the bat, because you don't want them to build some type of view of your book and then not finish reading the quote and having it get to that amazing point. So just being sure that you're capturing the very best of the quote. And I know some folks are but the whole quote is amazing, but it's there are definitely going to be some words, buzzwords within it that you're going to want to make sure that you grab, because those are going to be the ones that are going to hook people's attention. So we have here, let's see. I'm going to actually go, let's see. I'm going to actually copy the full quote for you guys, and then we're going to work down on kind of getting it ready. Oops. Okay. So at first you can see like, okay, we got a lot of text to work through here. But have no fear. All right. And because we are making a bookmark, you know, there tends to be the ability that we can have, you know, sometimes we can put a little blurb about the book. We can put a little synopsis about the book. We're gonna approach this particular quote kind of in the same line. So we are, let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and justify everything here so that it is reading nicely. All right, we are in the center. Okay. I also want it to be big enough that we can read it. One thing that I'm not a huge fan of justification is like these weird long gaps that they'll have in it. Let's see. Maybe we'll do center. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out this particular, because I think the things that are really great about this particular quote is that we get the addition of, you know, we have our protagonist, but we also have the kind of a little peek into the quirky sidekicks that are involved in this series. And I think anything that like captures the attention of your audience is going to be the best that you can, you know, that you can have going on. So what I would, you know, really suggest is, you know, we would have the, you know, capture those key pieces, especially since this quote is kind of telling us a little bit about the series. We have that ability to have that added in. So let me go in. Make it a little larger. I'm going to make my cute little cat paw significantly smaller because we have to attribute our quote and make sure that we have that added in. Let's add, actually, I'm going to come back to this font. We have a lot of items in here that we want to make sure that we're properly attributing. There we go. Make a little less, make our spacing a little bit more prominent. I'm actually going to make our author's name bigger here. Keep the sizing of all of the awards to a minimum. And then we have all of our information. Okay, we are aligned. Put in our quotes. So that's one option that we have for our bookmark, because we're giving our readers, viewers, what have you, a little bit of an inside look into what the series is about. Another way that we could go about this is we could really just kind of splice all of this in half. We could really lead with Ramona is dead and Goldie, her cat, is the only witness. And we could just have an excellent start to a new series as what we're using as our quote, and making it much larger. We're going to do some bold. Align to page. We are centered. All right. Make this even bigger. So making some adjustments with our, the positioning, the sizing. I'm actually going to bring back our fun little paws, and I'm going to implement them into the back by dragging down the transparency so that they're very, very faint, but we're getting some we're getting some texture, some movement in the piece by adding them back in. I might actually go and do a different, let's go back to those paw prints under graphics, and let's do this one. Again, dragging down the transparency so they're not overwhelming us with their inclusion in the piece. And we're going to go up. I think I want to drag it down even more. They're very, very faint at this point, but they're still adding some depth and dimension and fun to the bookmark. And so we have this as an option as well. I think actually, because I like those paw prints so much, I'm going to actually insert them onto this one. And this would be where I would, when I'm, providing the bookmark to a client, I would say, this is, 2 options that you have. Which one works best for you is always, I am always going to say whatever my client feels is the way to go. I'm never really going to argue too much unless they're going down a very, very incorrect path. But when it comes to the amount of information that you'd like to include on a bookmark, there are some readers that just love to have a lot of details on a bookmark. And then there are some people that just like to have the minimalist details. And so it can go either way. You could even do 2 different types, and have those available. So once you would have your, the bookmark design all set to go, let's see. Oh, I lost, for some reason, where did my cool thing go? I need to make a edit here. I somehow lost the text from here. Grab text. Here we go. Perfect. And then so we have our front and we have our 2 back options. When you are working with print items in Canva, you want to make sure that you are using their PDF print option. And you want to make sure that under the color profile that you're using CMYK, because it is going to give you a file that presents the color palette as it would appear when it's printed out. When you're looking at something on the screen, you're seeing actually a different type of color profile than what something is printed on, like a paperback book or a print that you see out in the world. So by downloading those items for through the CMYK color profile through Canva, you can set your expectations of this is what my design is going to look like when it's converted into that print file. Because there are some times when you design something digitally and then you print it out and the colors are going to be, a little bit deeper. They're going to be maybe, the gray and black tones are going to be more prominent. So it's just something to be aware of and be cognizant of when you are doing print materials, that you want to be using that color profile. You can even see that it says best for digital use and best for professional printing. It does have a little crown by it, which means that it is only used for Canva Pro members. But I've said this a million times before. If you're going to invest in something to help yourself with your author career, I pay less than $10 a month for my Canva Pro subscription, and it is literally the best thing that I have ever done as an author. It has just allowed me to make so many designs, so many promotions, so many, I can make my bookmarks on my own. I can make book plates on my own. I can make business cards. I can make any type of item that I am thinking of, either print or digital. I can make it through Canva and to help with my book launch. So it's something that I highly, highly, highly recommend that you do. And again, you can use the crop marks and bleed feature when printing so that you have those inherently baked in and you don't have to worry about, lining things up and making sure that like everything is where it needs to be. And I also have been flattening the PDF, which makes sure that everything is embedded correctly so that things aren't getting, sometimes, weird things happen with technology, and if things aren't embedded properly, then they won't look as exactly as you may have seen them in the design. So that's just something that I encourage you to take a look at when you go through the process. So we have gone through how to create a bookmark, the different elements that you can use to really heighten and design, and how you can use your covers to play to the design of the bookmark, and really how to present the information in a fun, engaging manner. So I hope that this has been helpful for you all. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Or if you're looking to have a bookmark design, just feel free to go to bookstobundles.com and I will make sure to help you. Again, thanks everybody for joining me today for this stream. I appreciate you being here and enjoy the rest of your afternoon.